Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is time for our weekly lunch bites. And look who's back, Coach LaDondra. We're so excited to
Hola.
have you back. We're so excited. We're super excited that you're back, but we also know that that month off was definitely needed for you. And so we hope that you are rested and well. And welcome back, Coach LaDondra.
Thank you. I'm excited. I don't know what y'all gonna get, but I'm excited to be back. And especially to chat about our topic today.
Yes. So I'm just pulling up the Facebook group to make sure that we're all good. So, y'all, you may not be watching us in the group, but we are live in there. And I'm going to make sure, yep, I'm on my
If you haven't
okay.
came into the group, I do recommend that you do join the group because what you're seeing on the outside is only part of the group, but then what happens on the inside of the group is not only is there community, but then there's also training. We house trainings in there that you get to go, free trainings that you get
Right.
to go and use to grow your business. So definitely, if you're not there, go to we, just look up in the search term, we doing business God's way. The we stands for women entrepreneurs doing business God's way. But if you just type in we doing business God's way, that'll get you there.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. I was about to do that. So awesome. Yeah, you guys, if you're not in our group, you definitely need to be in our group. We've got hundreds of women in there that are really just, looking for hope, looking for encouragement, looking for motivation. And so we'd love to lock arms with you and walk alongside you as you're in this entrepreneurial journey, because as we know, there are ups and downs and expansion and contraction and all the things. So we definitely want to encourage you to join us in there. And we've got some great stuff coming up that we're going to talk about later. So stay around till the end because we've got some announcements to share with you, ladies, at the end of this broadcast. But anyway, we're going to hop in today. So today in the month of February, y'all, it's February already. I can't believe it. I love this month. So my grandma turns 101 this
That
month.
is
I can't believe it. I'm like, every y'all, last year we really were like, she gonna make it, she gonna make it. And she is strong this year, y'all. She is strong. So we're so blessed to have her. But I love the month of February. My son's birthday is February. So it's all the things. So I'm pretty excited about February. So anyway, back to the message at hand. So what is your why? Today we're talking about why, and all of February we're going to be talking about purpose and why. And this week right now we're really going in, and I have my notes again, y'all. I've got to look down sometimes at my notes, but so this is a new year. And every time we're in a new year, it's always in January, February, March, it's always that season of renewal. And it's time to look at, okay, what didn't happen last year? What do I want to happen this year? Some people set New Year's resolutions, all that, and eat their black eyed peas and all that. I didn't do that this year. So so I'm like,
either.
we're gonna go forward because you know what? We've got God on our side. So that's all we need. So this year, though, as I was looking, and especially if you're in the North Texas area right now, you know that we are having like ice. We're just ice. That's all we are right now. Ice, ice baby. So people are skating and skiing to work and all the things. So this is kind of like put people back because I know a lot of businesses shut down. And so it's almost like that pandemic feel again. Everybody's kind of isolated. We can't go anywhere. We're all holed up at home. Now, for people like Coach LaDondra and myself that do that every day, we're like, it's all good. It is all good. But I know that this season, when it's kind of dreary outside and all the things like, and Coach, you talked about this in one of your lives the other day, that sad season where we have a little bit of, depression going on or the blues or whatever. And it's kind of a little contradiction of terms in the season that we're in. And so that's why when you look at the seasons of your life like that you have those ups and downs as an entrepreneur, it is so important to remember your why. Because if you don't know your why, you can find yourself crawling up in bed, pulling the covers up and just staying there maybe for a few days, weeks, or months, right? And it's really important to remember, why did I start this journey? Why did I start this journey? And so today before I go there, right, I want to talk about the question that I'm going to ask today. And we're going to dive into 3 points in this question. So the question is, what is preventing you from? Okay? And I'm going to do 3 things in that question. So the first question I really want to know is, what is preventing you from first knowing your why? There are so many people that we have worked with, Coach LaDondra, that, they kind of know a piece of it, right? Or they know that they've got something um, with their business or an idea or something, but they're really not sure what that is. And it's like when they come into our mastermind, group coaching program, then we start digging in and helping them to really dive in, like, okay, why? Why is that important to you? Why do you want to do that? Why, right? And we keep drilling down until we get to their absolute, like, you know what? And this is what happens many times. It's because they've been somewhere and now they're out of that place, whatever that place was. And they are looking back and they're seeing other women primarily, but other people that they know they can help get out of that place. And then they look in their home and they're like, you know what? I've got kids that I want better for. I've got a husband that I want to retire. I've got, grandkids that I want to pour into. And then they just really start digging into that why. So if you are that person that maybe doesn't really know, like, you get a little down or whatever, and you're like, why am I even doing this? Just forget it. I quit, right? We've all had those I quit moments. Coach, have you had those I quit moments?
I quit all the time.
Right? And so if we don't know, like, why am I getting up? Why am I doing this? Here's my why. Why am I up till 1:40 in the morning trying to do Facebook ads, and then one thing blows up and I have to delete the whole thing after hours of work? Why am I doing that? Because I know God has blessings of abundance waiting for the LaDondra Hervey team. I know that. But you guys, if you don't know your why, you're not going to stay up till 1:40 in the morning and bang it out and then get up the next morning and go, okay, let's go at it again, right? We've shed the tears. We're up again. Let's go, because I have people's lives to change, right? Coach LaDondra, what are your thoughts on that portion of the whole lunch bites? We've still got 2 more points to go, but I want to hear from you.
So for me, when it comes to knowing your why is very, very important. Because you just heard me say I quit all the time, but I quit for about 30 seconds, and I'm like, this is not gonna get the best of me. The devil is a lie. Like my self-talk starts to be activated because my why is greater than the obstacle that I'm going through at that moment. And so when we think about that why, you want to think about, when it comes to your why, you want to make sure that it's emotional. If your why, it doesn't make you emotional, it's probably not strong enough, and you probably need to do more digging. When I say emotional, it could be, everybody expresses their emotion different. It could be like, when you think about that why, it brings tears to your eyes to see somebody else go through that, or it brings pain to your heart in that area, and so it provokes that emotion in you. And sometimes you really gotta take yourself there. Like, that's why a lot of people do meditation, because they're staying in the flow of their why. And so sometimes we gotta pause long enough to just kind of feel it again. Like, when you're going through like all of the obstacles in life and business, because it's going to get hard, and there's going to be some obstacles, and there's going to be some 1 a.m.s, and there's going to be all kind of things happening. But you're going to have to get to a place to where you kind of go back and you reflect, and you're like, why am I in this thing? My why, for example, you guys know that I'm in this doggone thing to break generational cycles. And for me, at first, I thought that it was just for my family. I realized, and here's the other part, when I think about the emotion, knowing your why, it needs to be scary enough. So me breaking the generational cycle in my family, that's controllable. But God giving me and saying, hey, like I never told you to stop there. I want you to break generational cycles in families. And then that's when that imposter syndrome will want to come up and be like, wait a
Mm,
minute, who am I? Wait, uh, como le puedo ayudar? You speaking a whole nother language now, God. And so it needs to be scary enough that it's going to you can't do it on your own. You literally need God to step into the boat of your situation, the boat of your
mm,
vision, to step in and bring his power in conjunction and partnership with your power that he's already given you, so that you can get into that miracle working power that he's already possesses. And so what I would say is you're part of knowing your why. It needs to be emotional enough and it needs to be scary enough. If you ain't there, you ain't feeling emotional about it, and it doesn't mean tears only. It could be that it brings anger. Like
mm.
it pisses me off to think about people living under their God-given potential. Like I hate that with a passion. And so for me, a stranger on the street, like I'm looking like, girl, did you know that God has so much more available to you? That lets you know that that's my thing. That's what God has given me. That's my why. What is that for you? Like, as we're going along, like, put it in the chat. What's that thing that makes you either emotional, like, you cry, or it brings this righteous anger in you? Like I gotta do something about this. Is it something dealing with the youth? Is it something dealing with abused women? Is it something dealing with weight? You've lost loved ones and their weight has been an issue and you've seen a repetitive cycle. What is that thing for you? Because if you don't know your why, then you're not going to have that fight and that tenacity to go one more round. Why am I saying one more round? Well, for those of you who don't know me, I love me some fighting war movies, and Rocky Balboa just came up. I watched Rocky 4 last week, and he was against the giant Drago, and everybody was
Mm.
like, "When he get in a ring, he is about to commit suicide." And sometimes, some days, when you get up against your vision, you may feel like, "Hey, I feel like I'm about to commit suicide. I'm against the giant." But if you are anchored in your why, you will just keep getting up, punch after punch, round after round, and you're like, "I have to do this. I'm committed to it." And what you will find the strength to win the fight. You will start to understand that I am a conqueror. Greater is he that is in me than
Yeah.
he that's in the world. I am more than a conqueror. And that's why it's so important to be connected, not just know it here, because knowing it here, you're going to get defeated, but knowing it here in your spirit, and it's so rooted. And you're like, if I'm not the one showing up for this thing, then who's going to do it? And that's what's going to give you that fuel to keep
Mm.
going, even when you feel like you have nothing left.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That is so good. As you're talking about like wanting it to make you angry, right? And to make you want to survive it. So y'all, Coach Ladondo's turned me on to E.T., the hip hop, what is it, preacher? And he has a thing. I listen to his stuff all the time. You need some motivation, like put him on, right? But he talks about this one guy that was like, how bad do you want it? And he said, I want it. He's like, well, go out. They were by the ocean or whatever. And he's like, go out in the ocean, fully clothed. He's like, what? He goes, go out. And he kept telling him to walk further, walk further, walk further, right? And then he got to where he could, he's like, he's like, I'm about to drown. He's like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? He's like, until you want your business as badly as you want to breathe, like that, like the water's coming up and you're like, I'm going to do anything to get out of this water. I'm going to do anything to stay alive and keep breathing. Until your business is that kind of like all in commitment, like, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing? And so that's kind of the next point under this is, if you do know your why, okay, what's preventing you from showing up for your why? So that's point number 2. What is preventing you from showing up for your why? Now, the one thing I'm going to put full out is, right, fear. It's just fear. We have so many fears that show up as entrepreneurs. You go through those ups and downs, those cycles. As women, Like it's hard, right? Some days it's hard and you don't want to show up, right? But you're afraid. You're afraid of what people will think of you. You have that imposter syndrome, like Coach LaDondra was talking about, who's going to even listen to me? And so you shrink and you fade away and you hide in the background. You're not showing up for your why. Okay, I want to know why. Why are you not showing up? Put in the chat maybe some of the reasons that you haven't shown up, right? Is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of success? Is it a fear of whatever that there are so many fears that just go through our mind that keep us in bondage, right? That's why we talk about breaking the chains, the generational chains, because you guys, if you can look back maybe at your parents or their parents, something happened, or even just in your life that you don't want to pass down to your kids, right? Something happened. There was an event that happened either to them or to you personally that is holding you back. It's holding you back. It's preventing you from stepping out in your God-given purpose to do what he called you to do. And y'all, we can't stay there. We can't stay stuck there. We've got to make forward progress. We've got to keep showing up. We've got to just not only know your why. Again, if you're struggling with that, hit us up. We're going to help you dig deep and figure it out. But then once you figure that out, you're blocking other people's blessings by not showing up in yours. And that's really the thing, is like God wants you to show up. He has a whole palace waiting for you. All the riches that he has in store for you, they're out there waiting for you to show up and walk in your why. Coach LaDondra, what are your thoughts on that point?
What's preventing you from stepping into your why? For me, when I think about that, Coach Don is a little bit more loving than I am. You don't want it bad enough. And I will have to, I'm just going to be real with you, because a lot of times we sugarcoat things and it does us no good. And I can tell you, and I can say these things from personal experience, because again, for those of you who followed me for any point of time, I've shared my story. I'm super introverted, come from the country, like love hiding. I still go try to find me a hiding place, but I've learned how to be the turtle, pull my head out when I need to, and then pull it back in, tuck it in when I get to. But a lot of times is that it's just, it comes down to that you just don't want it bad enough. I remember when I first came out in my business, this was back in 2015. And I was like, okay, I went to my first networking event, but I was terrified. Because I don't know these people. I don't know what I'm walking into. I feel like I was walking into the jungle. I don't know, but I didn't know them, but I knew why. I knew my why. I knew why I was doing what I was doing. And so my why was big enough for me to go out and conquer that fear. And it just kept happening after, time after time. I do not like speaking. I'm called to speak. I do not like speaking in person. I will say in person, but I didn't even like it online. I was afraid. And many of us, we use that as an excuse. Oh, I don't like being online. Y'all, I did not like to hear my name. Like, I'd be like, I'm LaDondra, and my name would just ring wrong. It wasn't that I don't like my name. It's just I wasn't in practice of speaking, hearing myself, hearing my voice. I'm overanalyzing all these things. But after over time, I just kept showing up, because I'm going to stay committed to my why. I am going to stay anchored. That's one thing about me. And I hope that you guys take this. Be anchored no matter what. I kept showing up on those lives, doing it bad. If it's important enough for you, it's important enough to do it badly. So let me say that again. If it's important enough to you, it's important enough to do it badly. And so the thing is that you just show up on those lives. Eventually, what will happen is you will start to get it down. Show up on those stages. I remember, and this is why it's important to be connected to the right community of people. I remember that when I first started, I had some friends that was in my accountability group, and they were like, "Hey, you need to go and speak." And I was like, "No, who you talking to? I'm not like no." But what I did is I allowed my trusted community to push me off the cliff of what was in alignment with my purpose. See, many of us are being pushed off the cliff in directions that's not in alignment with our purpose. And what's happening is it's like now it's starting to cause hurt and harm. And remember, God says, "My plans for you are good. They're plans for you to prosper and not to cause harm." And many of us are in situations where it's self-inflicted harm because of we're not in alignment with the assignment that God has placed on our lives. And so that's why it's so important to take the first step, know your why. And if you don't know that, because many of you may be like, "I just don't know." Listen, start taking steps. And as you take steps, then do an inventory of what felt good, what felt connected, what's happening for you naturally, what's showing up for you naturally. Are you a natural encourager? Are you a natural leader? Are you natural at being in administration? Don't worry about how it's going to work. Just pay attention to what is natural, what is showing up for you. What made me feel passionate when I was working that administrative job? Like what fueled me up? What fueled me and fueled me? What was giving me energy? Pay attention to those things. So if you don't know, those are some ways that you can do that, and just get into action. Many times we're not getting into action, and that inaction is causing depression, it's causing anxiety, it's causing us to feel less than. And really, I will tell you, I don't believe in imposter syndrome. My mentor literally, I loved how she reframed it. She was saying that in the kingdom of God, that imposter syndrome really is just like it's saying that you're a fraud, and God didn't make us a fraud. He didn't give us the spirit of that we are a fraud, and I totally agree with that. Now, what it can do, if you're looking at it, then it's only information. So look at it as only information, because truth is there may be something that fear is showing up because maybe there's something you need to learn, know, or do to prepare you for the next level. So look at it as information that's going to elevate you into that next level of purpose, instead of looking at it as "I am a fraud." You're not a fraud. God has destined you with purpose. He shaped you, He's molded you for the position, but it could be showing some truth to you. You may be in the wrong area. You may be doing something that's out of alignment of your assignment. Just take note and be like, "Well, this felt good, but this doesn't feel good." So if I take away what doesn't feel good and I look at an atmosphere that was, y'all, I took Coach Dawn's let me put this behind my ear. I took Coach Dawn's advice, and I set me some alarm affirmations, and that was just talking to me about the amount of money that I'll be making per month. That's mindset work that you got to do. Because see, a lot of times as we're talking about our why, and I put fire emojis. I saw it because it had to be fun. Fire and heart emojis. And when we're talking about our why, you got to do things like that to keep you anchored. That's what that alarm was going off. It was telling me how much money I make per month, and with ease and with grace, and the impact that I make. You got to keep.
And in Jesus' name, we receive it and believe it.
Amen. But see, y'all, I'm not doing that from just "Oh, I'm speaking an affirmation and I hope that no, I believe that, I receive that, I take the actions to walk in alignment with that. And many of us, it's not happening for us because we're not doing the heart work and the hard work and the spiritual work first with God to even identify what is that thing for us. And I'm not talking to you from a place of shame, because Coach LaDondra don't roll like that, but I do roll in the fact of sharing truth and giving you wisdom, and that, because literally, if you go in Proverbs tell you it'll wreck your life, it'll get you right and tell you all these things. So this is just only things that you read in the Bible. So anyhow, Coach Dawn, I think I said all I want to say. You just, even though fear is showing up, feel the feeling. And we're going to do a lot of work on that. Boy, let me tell you, the Holy Spirit has been in this thing. I have many notes that's not only going to help you personally, it's going to help you in your marriage, it's going to help you with your relationship with children. So we're talking about breaking generational cycles, stepping into that bigger purpose. I'm going all in. I'm going to be sharing behind the scenes type stuff that I've never shared. So you're going to be getting some mentorship through this Braving Fear challenge that we're going to be hosting on February the 13th. I have an official day, February the 13th. And it's going to go even deeper if you want to come in the war room, because we're going to go to war on some things, and we're going to get some clarity on some things. Sometimes it's about just getting a little bit more clear, because there's a lot of things that's like a lot of abuse. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of other people's projection. There's a lot of other things sitting on top of your real why, and for you showing up authentically as you, we're going to deal with some of those things. So each day I'm just going to be pulling back layer after layer after layer after layer, because I truly want to see you be set free. Gone are the days of us setting goals and repeating the same cycle over and over, repeating the same year over and over. Like, let's break through the fear. And fear shows up in so many ways. I wrote about a fear that I just had just the other day, fear of being that person. If you didn't catch it, go on the business page. Fear of being that person, because I had a warped picture of what that person looked like, the ugly salesperson and like all of that stuff. But if I'm not willing to be that person, who will? First of all. And second of all, it's probably the person that's not a believer. And then now they're going over into territory that they shouldn't have been in. And it's because I chose not to show up to be that person that they needed me to be. Can you identify with that? Have you ever felt like, I don't want to be that person? If you're walking in the spirit of the Lord and you're walking with integrity, you can never be that person. You can never be that person. And a thought that came up to me, and I'm going to turn it back over to you, Coach Don. What if Jesus said he didn't want to be that person? We would miss salvation. We would miss eternity. We would miss blessings upon blessings. What if he was like, oh, well, I'm afraid of the Sadducees and the Pharisees and the enemies and all the E's? What if he said that and he was like, I'm not going to boldly do everything that the Lord has told me to do, God has told me to do? I'm afraid. What if he chose not to be that person? What would our lives look like today? We have to, so if we're made in his likeness and in his image, we have to think it the way he thinks. We have to embody kingdom principles and look at things from the lens of Christ. We can't be taking a back seat when we've been given authority to go and unlock, unleash, break people out, set the captives free. We don't have time for that. Go be that person. Get on the mountain and shout from the rooftop like Jesus did. He got up there on the mountain. He spoke his sermon. I am that I am. And he tell them, they said, who do I tell them who sent me? I am that I am. So if we got to embody that kind of energy, that's connected to our why. When you know who you are, and when it comes time to share about your services, your packages, whatever, or your pitch, I am that I am. Don't question it. Don't question it. Believe it and know your purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. Coach Don, I'm gonna stop right there because I could.
You could go on for days, and I feel it. And it's so good because you're right. And I'm going to segue into our third point, which is, what's preventing you from authentically walking out your why. And what Coach LaDondra hit on right there was the fact that y'all heard her, right? When she first started out, people saw something in her that she didn't even see in herself, right? That's what being around community and uplifting and the right community does for you. They call you higher and they help you to walk it out. Because I can tell you, Coach LaDondra and I have been together way before we were Team LaDondra Hervey, right? But we've been together and we've seen each other. We've stood alongside each other walking our purpose.
Mhm.
And each time, we would go to a speaking engagement or we would stand up in front of the crowds or whatever, like we knew that we were making an impact. And like she said, do it badly, right? Do it badly. Just do it. Do something. You have to do something, because in the beginning, you really, like I said in the beginning of this Lunch Bites, you may not know the deep downness of your why yet. So sometimes you got to keep walking it out, right? To get there. We had a client that she thought she had a ministry. No, she had a whole business that is now earning her more than she's ever earned, on her own before. She didn't even really know it was a business until we showed her why. And then she dug in. She's like, yeah, you're right. And so then she started taking action, imperfect action, right? Imperfect action, but she was walking out her why. You're right. I am meant to serve those that need to be heard. She's a podcast guesting promoter, or whatever you want to call it, right? Kingdom Connections Podcast Media Agency. There we go.
Sabrina Hammond, shout out to her. Go to her if you need any of that, because she will get you right. I love her. Okay.
Yes. And so it's just like, she is so amazing. But she didn't know it. But once she figured it out, she started walking it out.
Yes.
And that's what we have to do, is walk it out and be willing to trip and look crazy. Y'all, Coach LaDondra had a recorded webinar way back in the day. Y'all, she was like this on the recording. You couldn't even see her, right? But she did it.
I was like, what is she talking about? Yes, but that wasn't on purpose. I was trying to, and I didn't realize that all they were seeing was a horse. The horse picture, they didn't even see me. I was sitting up in my chair, but it was a picture, and how my camera was, it was only on the picture. And so I had no idea. And I'm going hard on it. Like, I'm like, and yes, and the Lord, and you didn't have no idea the whole time the horse is getting the credit. But
it sure was.
it didn't stop people from receiving that message, and I got to grow through that. Yep. So it wasn't that I wasn't prepared, because I was totally prepared. So when Coach Don is saying do it badly, that doesn't negate preparation. So please receive that correctly. Prepare with the level of excellence that you have, but knowing that allowing space for grace, because you may get it wrong, and that's okay. Which is, you may get a horse picture the whole presentation, and that's okay, because next time, now don't go to have somebody on the other side to tell you, can you see me? And you can jump off afterwards, but I just need you to know, can you see me before I get on here with these people?
Right, exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up about being prepared, right? Because we want you to be prepared. We want you to have all the resources that you need to step out in confidence. That's what we work with our clients in the Woke Next Level Mastermind program on. We work with these ladies all the time on, we're going to do it. We're going to do it scared, but we're going to do it. And it may not be perfect, but you're going to be prepared, right? You're going to be prepared. And then when you do it, you learn and you grow. Every time we do something, we learn and we grow. Y'all, I was not lying when I stayed up till 1:40 in the morning. But you know what? I learned. And now I'm going to do it again today. And it's going to go by even faster, right? And the next time I do it, it's going to go by even faster. And that's the thing about walking out your why. Like, first of all, knowing, okay, I know my why, right? I'm showing up, doing it badly. I'm prepared. It may not all go right, but that's okay. Because you know what? When you flub up, I'll say this, when you flub up like that, it gives those people that are watching you permission to do it badly, right? Because we often see people who are on the other side, right? And they have the millions of dollars or whatever that they have to make themselves look polished, to make themselves look perfect, to make themselves look like it just happened magically overnight. No, that doesn't happen. And so when your people see you authentically walking out your why, making mistakes, showing up when, when all hell's breaking loose, and they're still showing up, right? And they're showing you, you know what? If she can do it, authentically and imperfectly, I can too. And my people are waiting for me. So what am I doing? What am I doing? You know, how badly do I want this? So you guys, I talked about fear earlier, and Coach LaDondra mentioned it. We are having this 10-day challenge. She has been, like she said, the Lord's been like going in. They've been going in hard. They've been having some big powwows in January, right? We already had it before then, but then he gave her even more. He went deep, okay? So y'all, if you are sitting here going, you know what? I need to know my why. I think I have an idea, but I'm not sure. I need to know my why. Or if you're saying, I know my why, but I'm just not there yet. Like every time I try, I get butterflies in my stomach. I get nauseous. Whatever the feeling is, like something is preventing me from showing up and authentically walking it out, right? Fear. Okay. We're going to brave that fear. So February 13th, Braving Fear Challenge starts. You want to be in the room. So every day at noon, okay, we're going to have something going on. But then, like she said, a VIP war room on Mondays and Wednesdays of that 2-week period, we're going to be going in deep. And y'all, let me tell you, if you haven't witnessed or been a part of the prayer war room that Coach LaDondra has held in the past, it is unlike any that I've ever experienced. Because you know what? She it's like she has no control, right? Because the Holy Spirit comes and he just shows up and shows out, and she calls you by name. And I think that's like the one thing that I want to, for me, has been so impactful for me, because, you know, I'm there and I'm listening, I'm hearing her pour out to all these other women, and I'm standing in agreement and I'm just in awe. And then when she calls your name, it's like, oh, okay, this is for me. Then your ears really perk up, right? And the beauty of it is you walk away with encouragement and a knowing that I do have a purpose here. I was made for a purpose. So you guys, you want to be in that room. So don't sign up today. Where's my link? I have it here somewhere. There it is. Sign up today. Okay, you guys, Braving Fear Challenge. Y'all, it's a low investment, $10, right? $1 a day. No big deal. But you want to be there. We're going to have a whole private Facebook group. We're not even going to be in this group. We're going to have a whole private Facebook group for that. You want to be surrounded with women who are going to lift you up, okay? Encourage you, motivate you, and let the Holy Spirit really put in you what he has for you in this season. So no matter if you're in the season of renewal and hope, or if you're season of sadness, we're going to pull you up and let you move forward in purpose, in alignment with your God-given calling. So ladies, we hope to see you there. And I just want to give a shout out to everyone who's been here. Cassandra, we see you. Joella, we see you. Lynn, we see you. Who else is here? Like, I'm thinking I'm getting everyone. Melinda, Amber. Okay. So thank you, ladies, for being on live today. And we really want to encourage you to get signed up for this Braving Fear Challenge. It's going to be amazing. We start soon. So you definitely want to be in the room, right? So get that done. If what we've talked about with our private clients, our private group coaching program is of interest to you, guys, DM me, DM Coach LaDondra, and let's just have a quick call about it, right? No pressure, y'all. We don't roll that way because we're not that person, right? But we're telling you, we're sharing it with you. We are that person to say, you know what? If you're searching for answers that you know you need help finding for your business so that you can break those generational change, so that you can leave a lasting legacy impact, like, we have the answers for you. We really do. And we're going to walk alongside you. And the way that you're going to just break those chains off so quickly and get running, it's been amazing to see the other ladies in our group. So DM us, let us know if you want a quick call and learn more about that. We're happy to jump on a call with you. And that's it. Coach, what do you have to say on the wrap up?
I just want to encourage you guys with this last thing. And literally, I did not plan this. You've heard this time and time again. The scripture, Isaiah 43. I'm gonna go 18, 19. I'm reading it. How about that? It says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Forget your past failures. Forget the shame that you've gone. Forget all of your everything that's been holding you back. Forget those former things. Forget even your former wins, because guess what? C19. See, I am doing a new thing.
Mm.
Now, not tomorrow, not an hour ago. Now, right now, I am doing a new thing. I am making a way. I am making, he making me is happening right now. I didn't say I made, I am making a way
Mm.
in the wilderness. So if you're feeling a drought, your life, your situation, your business, you're feeling a wilderness situation going on, he said he is making a way for it. And let me go. I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. I just needed to pull that forward because there's so much more. I'm not gonna go into that, but I just needed you to know, because a lot of times we're stuck on our former wins. Oh, I was making 6 figures back then on my job. Behold, a new thing is coming up. Behold, the blessings of the Lord, that where that 6-figure job had a strain on your neck and you had no freedom, he want to give it all to you. Don't worry about the shame and all the things that the other people were projecting on you. Don't worry about all of that either. Forget all that stuff. And behold, take hold of it. Grab it right now, because right now, I am making a way in your situation. So if you need some hope today, hold on to that. And I do encourage you, don't quit playing with your life. Quit playing with your life, acting as if tomorrow is promised, acting as if an hour from now is promised. It's not. It's not. And you don't want to waste your life playing games and saying, hey, I was afraid. What you want to hear is, well done, good and faithful servant. Daughter, you showed up. You showed up past your fears. You showed up past your doubts. You showed up past your insecurities, and you trusted me. Everything that I gave you, you lived a life full. You poured it out. Daughter, well done, good and faithful servant. Remember who you are. Remember whose you are. And remember what you've been sent to do. And don't compromise it for nobody. Get in that Braving Fear challenge, because we're about to get right, because it's a new season. And you're not, this transformation happens when you take the first step. Opportunity is knocking. Are you ready for it?
Mm.
All right. I will chat at y'all. We will chat at y'all later. I'm about to go. We're about to reset for our Woke Next Level clients. But it's been real, and we will see you next week. The link is in the chat. Bye.
Bye, everybody.